it's Rachel with Pretty in Plants. Thank you so much for coming to my YouTube. I love plants and LECA, and so if you are here because you thought I was about cars, I am not. Thank you so much for coming, and cannot wait to get started. I'm doing a full house tour of my plants. They're very dry, they're very neglected. They are surviving in the LECA environment that I've put them in. But just a quick word on LECA, if you don't know anything about it. I have all of my plants in LECA so that I can be a horrible plant mom and still have a survival rate of 100%. So if that interests you, definitely stay tuned to see all of my plants in my house. Plants in my house. Okay, so before we get started on the tour, I wanted to thank Trine from California. She sent me a little gift. It's a Stephania erecta, or a bad potato plant or something. Anyway, she sent me the bulb and this really cute toilet. It's so cute. It's a toilet planter. So I think when it grows, it's like a phallic symbol. I don't know much about the Stephania erecta, but I thought it was the funniest gift, and my kids got a big hoot out of it. If this is your first time here, we have 5 children, 3 animals, and a very hungry husband, and the oven is always on. If you're in the area of San Antonio, Texas, don't mind stopping by. I will feed you abundantly. Now, my plants in this tour are quite dry. Some of them even look neglected to the point of sadness. And part of it is because my water purifier died, and so I'm using the Brita to water my plants. And I don't know if you've ever stood at the faucet and waited for the Brita to refill 5 or 6 times, but it's quite annoying, and it made me realize that if you do not have purified water in your home, you may only want to keep 8 plants. And then your job will not be as large as mine was today, watering and realizing how many plants are dry. So let's get started with the tour. Okay, so this is one of my lights up here. This is a tuniki. I'm making these little ornaments for Christmas, so I just have it hanging on this plant, and this light is the only light it gets. But if you look down here, see the white crusty? I desperately need to soak this one in the RO water display. And right here, I only have one plant now in our bedroom, and it's this one. This is my, it's gotten some nice leaves, but it just gets kind of morning sun right here. The toilet area. Oh, I need to water this one. See how dry it is. But I have my Satin Pothos. This one is so dry. And that one I just watered. Dry. I've been completely sad plant mom. Here is a beautiful, let's see, what's this one? The Philadendrum. This was a rescue ZZ plant, and it's doing really well. I'm loving my ZZ plant right here. All right, so I have one more rubber plant, and right here at the end of my closet. It gets kind of, the sun is in the afternoon and it comes through there, but it's getting new growth. So I think it's okay in here. I'm really watching it because the sun, I have it between these 2 windows, and so the afternoon sun just catches the sides of the plant. But so far, so good. Bird of Paradise with some nice big leaves. You know, our Christmas flowers. And then here is my Ficus Audrey. I'm going to try to get up on top of it so that the light is better. There we go. There's the Ficus Audrey. Now, it has some curling leaves, which means it needs a a little Epsom salt spray. We have some new growth, which is good. Down nested in here, I also have a Albo variegata nested down in my basket because the light here is phenomenal in the mornings especially. Let me check on this. Oh, super dry. Yeah, so see that wrinkle? That just means it's dry. And then I also have a couple of other plants. That one's so pretty. My whale fin, my variegated whale fin, that's pretty dry. And then I also have this one kind of tucked back in here. Let's check it. Ooh, it's super dry. All right, so right here we have the, it's like a little, I did this in a shell. And it's some little Sansevierias in the LECA. And they do great. This is all new growth. And it just is really fresh and vibrant looking. This is the older growth from the nursery. So this one's really happy getting a new leaf right there. Yeah, I just repotted and hung it. It's not super happy about that. It's gonna look kind of faint for a couple of weeks more. It's okay though, but Hoyas don't like to be repotted. Okay. So this one is Philadendron. I'll put the name on the screen. I don't know why I'm blanking on this one right now. This one grows really, really big leaves, and it's adjusted to the LECA. This is a red alocasia. They grow kind of red and then they grow out green. This one is a Hoya that I can't remember the name of it, but I just have it in a little bit of LECA and it's recovering really well. This is a ghost Euphorbia. It's the Albo borsigiana variegata. This is just a cutting I took off from the plant and it's really, really happy. And then over here, this wall was what I started with when I first did my plants. This is my jewel orchid. I've kind of just let it, it's hard to get it all in the picture because it's kind of large, but I'm letting it just kind of grow wild. It's getting new growth. It loves LECA. It requires quite a bit of water and dries out quickly. This is the variegated form of the Hoya I'll put it on the screen. And it's adjusted to the LECA and it likes it. This is something I picked out of the front yard of a restaurant. It's an agave plant, a blue agave. It absolutely loves LECA. Up on top of this shelf, I have Philadendron, an anthurium, a bird's nest fern, which looks extremely dry, and a Hoya. Fiddle-leaf fig, which looks like it got a little overwatered, possibly. And then a tripartitum philodendron. Here is this one is reaching for the light. It absolutely loves it. It's the great big elephant ears, and then a moonshine, and this one has grown quite a bit, but it's a philodendron moonshine, Moonlight. Here's another bird of paradise. It's quite large. This one, you can see I keep a light kind of behind it, and it has some new growth. It loves it here. There's a couple of bird of paradise here. I absolutely love them in our home. And then this one is the pig's ear philodendron, another bird of paradise. Now, some of my BOPs, they went with my daughter to college and she brought them back. And I have tucked back here, there. See the light that's kind of underneath these? And they just, for the winter time, it just seems to help. This is a philodendron jungle boogie, And it's really hard to get the whole thing in the screen because it is quite large and has a lot of growth. This room, everything's really messy because of, this room, I actually put hooks all across the ceiling so I could hang down hanging plants where I wanted them. This is my sewing room, so I have a rickrack cactus, then there's a Hoya, and then see I put the light there on the wall kind of pointing down on these, and it's on a timer, so it will come on every morning, go off every night, and they seem to really like that. Same thing with this one. I have the light down on the floor, and look at all of this new growth kind of coming up. They just love their situation in here with the light. I only water them every couple of weeks. But this light has been kind of faulty. A little, there's some little, the narrow form. I just stuck them in here. These were all cuttings and they're growing wonderfully. Guess who is waiting for, this is a hamster cage. And guess who likes to lay on top of it and wait for him to come out? So here are some Sansevierias. Here's some more rickrack cactus. And then this is a really happy pothos that we have just hanging from the ceiling. That one's been there a year. Over here in this kind of dark corner under a lamp is another Hoya. And these plants in here are a little neglected. It's my daughter's room. It's nice and damp. Just leave it for another month. Last room. Okay, so another difficult one. It's been 25 degrees. So these plants, this table is my indoor table. This is my Ponytail Palm. And you can kind of see the trunk there. Then I have my Gloriosum, my Philadendrum Gloriosum. And let me come to the side. Leaves out the window. They're so happy for the light. And then out here I have this beautiful Monstera Deliciosa. It's quite large. a very large, let me see this guy, old Man Cactus. This one, I have it in a paint bucket of pebbles. It's absolutely giant. I'm not moving it again, so, but it's really grown quite a bit outside. It's been 28 degrees out here, doesn't seem to mind. And then this is a little olive tree. So we're out on the balcony. This is a fiddle leaf fig. I was gonna ditch it, but it's surviving. It's been 28 degrees out here several nights and it's still alive. And then this is my Philadendron emerald green. There's some new growth. This poor guy is very neglected, but it doesn't seem to mind. Oh, and I have this Philodendron, this guy. He's pretty. It's like a totem, Philodendron lanceolatum totem plant. I need to water them, but I have a couple of Christmas cactus, and this one is blooming again this year. It absolutely loves. Okay, so I hope y'all enjoyed the tour. I loved it. I loved checking on every plant and seeing if it needed water. I did forget a couple of plants. My Thai constellation is outside. It's looking a little sad, and so whenever a plant looks sad and it's sunny outside, I put it out there for recuperation. And then I forgot my Jerry horn, which is this giant, gorgeous thing. I love this plant. I actually happened to be at a nursery here in Texas, and another one of my followers was there at the same time. We both got a Jerry horn, and I don't know if you can see, but the leaf is this, it's kind of like the rugosum, the pig's ear, but it doesn't wrinkle, and it just grows these huge, fabulous leaves. It gets sticky sap, as if it has scale. I have treated it a few times for scale. I don't see any scale on the back of the leaves, but I do see it does have this sticky sap. It does not seem to be unhealthy or have any issues. It's just a sticky, sappy plant. So if y'all have any tips for me, leave them down in the comments below. And I am so glad y'all came today. I'm so glad you came on the tour with me. I hope y'all have the best Christmas you've ever had in your ever-loving lives. I am so I just feel so blessed. 2020, my plants are alive. My family is healthy. I think none of us have gotten sick in 365 days. We were sick last Christmas. Oh yeah, we did have coronavirus for 3 days, but it was nothing. I promise you it's nothing for us. And out of 7, I think 5 of us got it. But I had a friend who had the hydroxychloroquine and it made our smell come back. So if you get the coronavirus and you can't smell or taste, get your paws on some hydroxychloroquine and your smell will come back and your taste will come back. It's amazing. So that's your tip for the week. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Definitely comment below. Thank y'all so much for your sweet comments lately. I just appreciate it so much. I am sorry I'm only going every other week. I won't be here next week. I will be here the week after, and that will be the first week of the year, and then I'll go back to every week. We will be together for next year, 2021. Yeah, so I won't see you till next year. I can't believe it. Well, anyway, I'm so excited. Love y'all so much. Thank you so much for tuning in, supporting me, and going on this journey with me, this LECA journey. I'm really sorry for anyone whose plants have died this year and they feel like I was the root cause of the death. I'm really trying to help people do better with their plants, better with LECA, and just want to share. The second I started my journey, I started this YouTube channel, and I have just thundered through figuring out almost every plant in LECA. So, and if there's a plant you didn't see in my video, I may still have it. You can tell though which plants have done really well or super easy, and so I end up collecting quite a few of them. But plants for me, it's purely aesthetics for each room that we live in. If the lighting is good, I want a live plant. If I have a live plant, I don't want to water it. If I don't want to water it, I have to put it in LECA. So that's the way the cookie crumbles at our house. We're busy, but we get to have 100 plants, and I feel really blessed for that for this year. Blessed to do the YouTube. Can't wait to see y'all next year. Bye-bye.